A year ago, I looked at the top score farmers of Mania and graded them based on this whole formula I created. In the middle of 2023, we saw a lot of changes happening within the top 20, as a lot of players were going for completion, or just score farming in general. The later half of 2023 and much into 2024, things slowed down with players, and leaderboards started to see less changes. This probably had something to do with the release of Laser, and players either deciding to play less or to not go for completion. But either way, I want to revisit this list, calculate new players in the top 20, and compare to what values we had last year. If you're confused about what any of this means, go watch the previous video for an in-depth explanation on the formula. Like last time, I'm going to include a few players who are not in the top 20, but would still rank high on this list. And for the sake of this video, I think it would be easiest to go through the updated list, and then compare everyone from last time towards the end. Make one comment about this guy and my whole Reddit account gets this. Anyway, starting with the banana tier, and we have a lot of players who weren't here last time. Araxcrow and Adri have been going for completion recently, so they've been setting a lot of scores and climbing rapidly. Because of this, a lot of A ranks, which does bring down their rating a bit. In the future, I'll do a video on completion exclusively to highlight that aspect of gameplay. But in this video, and in these formulas, setting scores on Mania-specific maps doesn't really give you an advantage here. Hestia and Ibicot have been inactive for most of the year, so nothing to report on there. Mushroom tier, we have even more new players moving up. 2KY has been killing it with first place rankings, over 2,000, which is in the top 10 globally. I expect this number to go up as he continues to play. Big Man also has been grinding a lot with completion, jumping 10 billion rank score in a matter of months, top 15 when it comes to SS count as well. Like with a lot of these completionist players, you risk racking up a high A rank count if you're not careful about how you set scores. Everyone else in this category has been inactive, and something I realized is that with these formulas you can actually lose points from being inactive. If you lose too many number 1 scores, your E2 calculation can go down a bit, and that's what we see with Zedrex 1. Really interesting. Next is the Fireflower tier, and it seems like everyone equally moved up from last time, it's just that the players above them played a bit more. You can see how each one of these players has their own strength. Kibitz has the best SS to A ratio, Shini Taichan has the highest rank score, and Infora is still Mario. Let's go! The Lightning tier has the most amount of players, like last time. Most of these players excel at having a high SS count, all of which being over 10,000. 0216MMY is probably the most disadvantaged player on this list, based on how the formulas are calculated, as I don't account for S ranks, but they have increased their rank score by about 20 billion, so we still see significant growth. Next is the Star tier, and these are the Convert Masters. I'm sure you've seen at least one of their names on any converted map that you play. Miyanaga S2 Saki was knocked out of the top 20 score ranking, but he was pretty high on the list last episode, so we'll include him here. He's 4th place when it comes to number 1 scores on maps, and that seems to matter a lot more than PP when it comes to the E2 calculation. Everyone here is good at setting number 1 scores. They're all in the top 6, with the exception of Trans Rights. She, on the other hand, has one of the best SS to A ratios in the game, which carries a lot of weight in that category. With the Crown tier, Outlast returns. From last year, it seems like he gained 500 number 1 scores and 4,000 PP, making him 2nd for the highest amount of number 1 scores. This alone puts him well above everyone else below him. It's incredible how a top player, who's not exactly at the way top, still can dominate on a vast number of maps. I complained about this in a previous video, but in my mind, if you can get rank 1 on so many maps that also contain an amount of difficulty, you deserve to be in the top 20 at least. Same with 2KY. I know he mostly plays 4-key maps, but you can't deny the sheer amount of dominance some of these players have that isn't well reflected in their ranks. But anyway, the next player in the Crown tier pretty much broke my formula. You can't divide by 0, and putting a 1 here would still skew the math in an unintended way. So I came up with a clever way to represent having 0 A ranks, and should be in line with the previous episode. Sabrina has the 2nd highest SS count in the game, and 0 A ranks, one of the most perfect looking profiles in the game. Even with the 4-key mod score reduction, she's still ranked 5 when it comes to score. The only thing that separates her from a majority of players on this list is the number 1 scores, and the PP ranking, especially with this last player. Same with last time, there's going to be a gap in the tier list because these numbers get so big. Grilled Cheese basically improved on every aspect from last time, with ranked score, number 1 ranks, and SS count. Definitely slowed down when it came to setting scores, but still active enough to see a difference, and the only player to hit 1 billion rank score in Mania. Comparing these last 3 players, we can see how they each excel at one of the categories. Outlast has the highest rank, and a decent amount of number 1 scores. Sabrina has a clean SS count, And while grilled cheese does have 21,000 first place ranks, PP is also a contributor to this formula to offset from 1-star maps. But his rank score is far above anyone else's, and I think it'll stay like that for a long time. As always, this was just for fun and not to be taken seriously. Seeing the difference between this year and last year kinda makes me want to start playing again. Peppy did mention wanting to have a sort of ranking or attribute when it came to setting scores, so I'm looking forward to something similar to this video becoming an actual thing. I'll try to include the spreadsheet and everything in the description if you want to take a look at it. Leave a comment below, and thanks for checking out this video. It's me, Mario! Oh my god, I gotta blow my nose. This is done, I'm done.